Hello, I'm Rob Phillips, and welcome to my channel, where I help you to live a more balanced and present life through yoga and meditation. Today we're going to be doing a 30-minute yin yoga sequence that's going to be all around releasing tightness in our chest and our shoulders. So maybe you're holding tension from working at a desk job, maybe you've been doing some heavy upper body workouts, really any reason whatsoever that you might be feeling a little tight in the upper body. This will be a good chance to get a little bit of relief for that. In terms of props, I'm going to recommend having a blanket for today. And as always, if you enjoy these videos, please consider giving it a like and consider subscribing to my channel if you want to see more yoga videos like this each and every week. Once you've got all your props and you're ready to go, we're going to begin today in a comfortable seat. So as you come into your seat here, as always, it can be valuable to sit up on a blanket or other props. Just make sure that you can sit comfortably here for these first few minutes. Aligning the spine so that it stacks nice and tall. Closing your eyes and really beginning to land here. Really beginning to arrive right here where you are. So of course, for this sort of practice beyond the purely physical work, we get an opportunity to tune in. We get an opportunity to slow down and connect. Really kind of a break, kind of an antidote from the normal pace of our lives. So here, in your seated posture, can you really feel a sense of your body as it is right here and right now? Can you really feel a sense of your breath as it's moving right here and right now? And just trusting in this process of being here, of showing up again and again. That really is the core of this work beyond the physical practice that we're about to begin. And so as we take just a few more slow breaths here, just asking if there's any tightness, if there's any tension that you're holding on to. And if you feel like there is, see if you can let that go. See if you can let that settle and release for these final few moments here in our seated meditation we're beginning with. Let's take a final gentle inhale breath here through our nose. Gentle exhale breath out our mouth. And lower your chin down and slowly open your eyes here. And so from here, we're going to begin in our first official pose, which will be a wide-kneed child's pose. Now, of course, you're welcome to do this just on your mat. Usually when I practice, I like to use a blanket just to give myself a little bit of extra cushion. So I'm going to recommend taking a blanket, opening it up a little bit wide, and maybe folding it over. You're also welcome to turn sideways on your mat if you happen to be practicing without a blanket. The idea, though, is to give the knees enough cushion that you can be comfortably in this pose for these first few minutes. So separating the knees as wide as it takes to feel some amount of release onto the inner line of your thighs. And then from there, we extend the torso forwards as we relax our hips back. Feel free to do even more support than this. We want to make sure the body feels safe. We want to make sure the body feels comfortable and accessible to all of these shapes that we're doing today. Assuming you do feel safely aligned in the pose, in that case, allowing for yourself to relax. Allowing for gravity to take you and draw you more and more into the shape. But remembering, if anything flares up in these poses, if any strong or possibly sharp sensation arises, in that case, you're welcome and encouraged to back out, because we never want to risk harming the body. So from here, we're going to be doing a couple variations on the simple pose. So keep your legs basically as they are right now. Lift yourself up just a little bit in the chest and walk your torso so that it's now coming off the left side, or sorry, actually off the right side corner, of your mat. As you walk off towards your right, you'll start to feel a release happening on the left side body. So just general rule for side bending is as you move to either side, you're going to feel the effect on the opposite side. That's where the length will form. So here you might draw your left side hip back a little bit. Feel that release onto the side body, and maybe a bit onto the shoulder, which is where we'll be focusing today. This is just kind of easing into it a little bit indirectly. Take a few moments to drop in, and this will be a relatively short hold. But while you're here, can you notice? Can you connect? Can you really feel what it's like to be in this shape, in this moment? Take a final complete breath right here. Slowly walk the chest back into the middle. Just pause there for a few seconds. And then from there, you can then walk the torso off the left edge of the mat, the left side corner of your mat. So again, as you walk off towards the left here, you're going to feel the release happening on the right side body. You can certainly emphasize that by drawing the right side waist and hip back a little bit. Remembering we want to feel the poses, but with no intensity. We should feel relatively comfortable, or at least comfortable enough that we can really relax into the shape. And as you settle here, can you ask what it's like to be here in your body, in this moment? What's it like to just be here with no expectations? No need for things to be anything other than what they already are. Here now, you can take a final complete breath. Walk your torso back into the center here, and then walk the whole body all the way forwards and rest on your belly. And you can slide your blanket out of the way here at this point. And then release all the way forwards onto the floor. So on your belly, you can relax the forehead down. You could rest on your cheek if that's more comfortable for you. And even though this is mostly intended to be an upper body sequence, of course, we're sneaking in a little bit of release for the hips, so you'll feel that. As you come out here, notice the lasting effects in the lower body. Maybe taking a few deeper breaths to help emphasize some energetic movement into that area. Before we transition on from here, consider taking a gentle inhale breath through your nose, taking a gentle exhale breath out your mouth. From here, you're going to press yourself upright and come onto hands and knees, and we're going to come into a pose called quarter dog. Now, quarter dog, kind of a lesser known pose, one that we don't see as often. So definitely watch me with my setup if you're not familiar with this one. Basically, it's a close cousin of anahata or melting heart pose. So you're going to start from your tabletop position. You're going to walk your arms forwards, in that sense, really similar to anahata. But then you're going to take your right arm and bend it so it's more or less parallel with the front of your mat. Take your left arm and cross it over the top here, and then rest your forehead either on the forearm, possibly on the floor, but just make sure that you're not crushing or compressing your neck in either of those choices. Once you've got that all set up here, you draw the hips back, and the intention here is to feel a release onto the chest and onto the shoulders. In general, the intention would be to relax and really let gravity take you, but again, if the sensation becomes too strong, if you feel like you might be overstretching the shoulders, again, you're going to want to back out or maybe engage just a little bit to support yourself. Remembering it's always better to do these poses too gently than it would be to do them at all too aggressively. As you relax, feel that sense of the body just as it is right in this moment. Notice the breath as it moves within the shape, as it ebbs and flows here. Is there anything whatsoever that you're holding on to that maybe you could let go of here? I mean that, of course, in terms of the physical body, but I also mean that in terms of our mind. Can you really let go again and again? Can you really settle more and more into the experience of just being here? What's it like to find that sort of deep surrender? Final few moments here. Feel that last bit of space release. Feel that last bit of opening. As you're ready here, take one more complete breath. Slowly make your way all the way forwards again onto the belly. And kind of my recommended counter pose for this, if it's comfortable for you, would be to take your arms back by your side, to rest onto either side cheek. The idea of that being to give the shoulders a nice clean reset, because as you notice, that was a fairly strong release. We did some pretty deep work with that here. Maybe consider taking some deeper breaths across the shoulders, across your upper back. Always, as we transition, noticing the after effects, noticing the more kind of subtle energetic stuff that comes from these longer holds. And just connect with that here for a few more moments, for a few more nice deep breaths. Here now, let's set up for our second half. So using your hands, you can gently press into the floor. Lifting the hips up, again, we're starting basically from a tabletop position. And then almost as if you're going to come into Anahata, like a melting heart pose, you're going to walk the arms forwards. And then as you draw the hips back here, this time you're going to bend at your left elbow and cross your right arm somewhere over the top. I think I neglected to mention on first side, do be certain that you're not kind of digging your elbow into the arm. You might want to make sure you're on kind of a softer part rather than being right on the bone. And then the forehead could rest on the forearm or it could rest a bit behind it. Again, really being conscious that you're not crushing the neck here, that you're not really compressing the middle or upper back too much. You want to feel like you're opening things up. You want to feel like you're releasing. Again, if you're holding a lot of tightness in the shoulders, you may feel a good bit going on here, but be really honest about the type of sensation that you're feeling, about the intensity of sensation that you're creating. Especially if you are really tight in the upper back, work gently here. Work patiently here. When we work gently, when we work patiently, the body will trust that process. The body will be able to relax. Whereas if we push aggressively, if we try too hard in any of these shapes, the body will actually tighten up and tense in response to that. We'll actually kind of miss the opportunity we have here in some level. And then here, as you hold, as you settle, always asking what you might be able to let go of. Always asking what you might be able to release. Again, we start that process in the physical body, but that process, that practice also extends to our state of mind. Let your mind be open and spacious. In very much the same way, we're encouraging the physical body here to be open and to be spacious. Whenever it arrives, you can take a final complete breath right here. And again, gently, carefully find your way all the way forward onto the belly. On the belly, again, if it's comfortable for you, I'm going to recommend taking your arms back and alongside you, resting onto maybe your other side cheek here. I'm resting on the same side just so I don't crush my mic, but presumably you could rest on either side. And feel that opening across the shoulders. Feel that opening across your upper back. Consider sending some deeper breath into that area. Let's take a deep inhale breath through our nose. Take a long exhale breath out our mouth. From here, you can flip your way over and find your way all the way onto your back. And as you lie down, you can spread out there. This is not final Shavasana, but we'll be moving there relatively soon. So first, just take a few moments to land and arrive right here. So as you arrive here onto your back, just landing for a few moments, taking some nice deep breaths and feeling the resonance, feeling everything you've opened up from the sequence up until now. For our final phase here, we're going to balance all that upper body work with just a little bit of easy hip release. So we can draw the feet in. Keep your right foot flat on the earth and cross your left ankle over the right knee. And it may be that for your body, you're feeling enough release just being here. If you're not feeling much and you want to dial this up a little bit, you're going to draw the right thigh in towards the chest. You can hold over the knee or you could hold over the thigh itself. Either way will work. But keep the shoulders, the belly relaxed. Not so much pulling on the leg, but just setting things up so that now the shoulders can relax, the arms can get nice and heavy. And just from that pull of gravity here, creating that release on the outside edge of your left leg. Still really settling, still really landing right here. Continuing to let go of anything extra you're still holding on to in the body, of anything extra you're still holding on to within your mind. And take a final complete breath right here. And slowly release the legs down, and of course you can uncross and maybe shift, release for a few seconds. Setting up our second half, right ankle crosses over the top of the left knee. And from here, you'll take a gentle inhale breath. So you exhale, gently drawing that left thigh in. As I said on the first side, here you can hold over the thigh or over the knee as I tend to do, but not so much pulling on the leg, it's just kind of setting things up here. Should be no significant effort other than maybe just a little bit in your hands holding on to that leg. Let everything else go and just trust that time and gravity will give you exactly the release that you need here. And as you release, as you settle, enjoying this chance to just be here, to just really experience this pose as it is. Take a final complete breath here as you are. Slowly release the legs and let this be a last chance if you'd like to move, if you'd like to shift a little bit. Before taking your time now to set up for final Shavasana. So extending the legs out onto the floor, opening the arms wide. And as always, if you want to use some props for this, if you want to set up a little more elaborately, I would of course welcome and encourage that. But ensuring that you feel comfortable here, ensuring that you can settle and land here. With the eyes closed, just scan the body one last time. Make sure there's no remaining sense of effort or control. And take a gentle inhale breath through your nose. Open up your mouth to exhale and let absolutely everything go. Settle into the quiet, settle into the stillness for these final few minutes. So on your back, taking final few moments, final few breaths to tune back in, to reconnect. Feeling as the breath slightly deepens, and from that deeper breath, gradually adding small movements, finding your way onto your side, and ultimately up into a comfortable seat with eyes closed. And here with your eyes closed, let this be one last chance to feel all the effects of your practice, to tune in here collectively one more time. And finally, joining hands in front of the heart. A deep thanks to each of you as always for joining in this practice, and may our practice bring benefit to all beings. We bow. Thank you so very much, as always, for joining. If you do have thoughts, questions, or comments, please let me know down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And as always, if you're not already, consider subscribing to my channel so that you can see more yoga practices like this each and every week.